Hey everyone, X-Hardcore Gamer here. I'm going to cut right to the chase and get to some quick impressions for BeeFense BeeMastered. The bees are back. Bigger, bolder, better. That is according to the description of the game, but I am not familiar with the mobile game that it's based on, so all my impressions are on what I've played today. If you were like me and you were unfamiliar with BeeFense before today, it's a tower defense game with a cutesy art style and simplistic gameplay. The title itself is a pun, which I'm sure fellow I Dream of Indie member Silent Signs will appreciate, on the fact that you play as bees in this game. Bees are continuing to fight the ongoing battle against the hornets who are trying to steal their honey. As with any tower defense game, it's up to you as the player to figure out where is the best placement for any tower to fight the oncoming waves of enemies. Unlike your standard tower defense game though, you're still going to use some units to be able to gather resources like a typical real-time strategy game. While I commend them for trying to do something different than the norm, its mobile roots really show in pretty much every aspect of this game. This is a remastered version of the mobile game, so you are going to see some improvements to the graphics, some added levels, and even improved controls, but it's still not going to go quite far enough to be warranting a real release. There is full controller support for this game, but I found the controls to be a little bit awkward. Most of my experience with tower defense games is with a mouse and keyboard, so that's the way I chose to play this as well. Unfortunately, that same awkwardness that came with using a controller has transferred over to the mouse controls. For example, usually you'll have a lot of commands that will be the same button press or mouse click, but in BeeFense, for whatever reason, they make you have two separate buttons to do that. This had me fighting years of muscle memory, and it was made worse by the fact that a lot of the mouse clicks were inverse between what would be left and what would be a right click. Everything about BeeFense just screams that it used to be touch controls and they did a very poor job translating them to the controller or a mouse and keyboard. I was constantly fighting the controls and finding the game doing weird things where it would just snap the camera into places I didn't want it to be. Another frustrating aspect in BeeFense is that each unit can only be clicked on individually, and you cannot do any group commands like you could in a standard real-time strategy game. Now, if you do put all those negative aspects aside, you do fundamentally have a very solid tower defense game in BeeFense. While a bit simplistic, you still have the ability to do different types of towers and different forms of upgrades. It's up to you to figure out whether it would be best to have one that would slow the enemies down or just blow them up outright. It also has a great learning curve where each level will only introduce you to one or two new mechanics of the game so you're not overwhelmed as a new player. Each level also has a set of bonus objectives that you can do to earn resources for future upgrades. There have been some levels that were added to the mobile version, but unfortunately there still are not many to complete in this game. The mobile routes also show through in the game's graphics as they're very low polygon and not very detailed. They are colorful and cartoony, but in the PC version there are absolutely zero options for the graphics. The sound and the music are just as forgettable as well. In the end, with a game like BeeFense, you're going to find a game that's more appropriate to be playing on mobile than on PC or on consoles. The game is set up for more casual, bite-sized game sessions than anything long-term. With its frustrating mechanics and lack of options, it will be very hard to recommend this game for anything more than a couple dollars. I'd now like to take the time to thank our indie warriors. Mitchell Hall, Kevelo, Bunny, Bill Tcast, Christian Cruz, Strychnine, Rosie Syntax, Chris Jackson, Nathan Moore, Peach, Adriano Amato, CJR, Jesse, Falco Lombardi, C Coil, and Skeptism. Thank you as always for your support, and we couldn't do this without you. If you would also like to subscribe or join in on any of the other fun things that we have to offer, feel free to click all the cool little icons we have on the screen. Thanks again everyone for watching, and until next time, enjoy gaming.